Yo, what's up, my special little snowflakes? I've recorded this a few times now because I keep forgetting to say information. Yeah, it's been a while since my last drag video, but I've got a reason to make one. I saw Christmas Queens last night. Whoop whoop. It was epic. It was so cool. Yeah, the queens who were there. This is what I keep forgetting. Was Alaska, Detox, Jinx made a special appearance, Manila, and Katia, and Fifi O'Hara, and obviously Michelle. So this is an epic lineup. Because I'm rubbish at sorting my life out, I wasn't actually going to go because I forgot to get tickets, but I bumped into a couple of mates at another mate's birthday party last week and I had a spare ticket, so I snatched that right up. And yeah, I was super excited to go last night. What I did, the format this is going to be in, is I recorded like a 10-second clip of every performance just to remind me of what was occurring. So I'm going to watch each clip and then give my thoughts on the Queen and their performance. And then like mash those clips together in this video. I probably won't upload the clips of the performances unless they're particularly cool because they're not great quality. It's more just my own reference. And also obviously there are people at the front with cameras and stuff taking proper recordings, so I'm sure they'll be on YouTube. There were some super cool performances. But yeah, just as an overview, it was amazing seeing them in person. It was such a cool experience. They're so beautiful. I mean, I know everyone says this, but it was like mental how tall they are. You just don't think they're that tall when you're watching it on TV. Nila came outside at the very beginning, and just seeing her compared to like the queue of people, like she towered above everyone. It was like super impressive. It makes them, it gives them more grandeur, you know. And they just look beautiful in person. They obviously look beautiful. Look at how they looked on TV, but more beautiful. It's really hard to explain. It's more of a spectacle. I don't know, but yeah. So, yeah, let's roll the first clip of the first thing and what I thought. Right, sorry, quick disclaimer. I can't do the right direction. I'm boiling the egg at the moment. Don't ask why. It's just something I do to pass time. Yeah. So I didn't have a clip of it, but because I didn't really know what it would be. But Michelle came out initially. I thought she'd just be like, "And here's the first Queen," but she went on a rant, but a good rant, a fun rant. Let's backtrack. So yeah, Manila came out, which I sort of talked about. That was awesome. I didn't really see what she did, so I was looking for my mates. But she sort of greeted a couple of people in the crowd, gave them a hug, and she looked like outside in like fluorescent light. She still looked gorgeous, like very striking. Yeah, but sorry, I'll talk about Manila a bit properly in a bit. And then they announced like a little video. The way the show was constructed were video segments, and then the queens would come out and perform. So it's an initial video on the big screen. The big screen's like a cinema. Yeah, on the massive screen at the back, introducing the queens one by one, and everyone was cheering. Cassie got loudest cheers by quite a bit, and Fifi got boos, which was super harsh. Like a lot of us weren't booing. That sounds like genuinely I did not. That's horrible. Don't boo people like that. And so then Michelle came out and she talked for a while, and one of the things she said was like, "Don't boo Fifi, what are you doing?" But then she also made a little dig at one point as well, but she's like, a lot of people have been booing me for the door thing, being too harsh on the door, and then she's like, "But I said what I said, I don't blame editing or whatever." So like she was defending Fifi, and like she gave a really nice speech. She's like, "This is a place of love and support, you know, they've been working really hard, blah 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 blah." It was like a really nice little speech. But then she still threw shade as well by saying she didn't blame me editing, so that was quite interesting. I love Michelle. You know, you guys know what a massive fan of the everything drag race I am. So I listen to the podcast, and I've always loved Michelle. She's awesome. I don't necessarily agree with everything she says on the show, but I really like her as a person. Like if I had a chance to hang out with her, that would be epic. Just chucking it out there into the atmosphere, as RuPaul and Michelle would say on their podcast. Trying to materialise it. But yeah, and so she also talks about. She also mentioned Big Brother, and also talked about Katie Hopkins. She brought Katie Hopkins up a few times. She had two talking parts, Michelle, and she brought Katie Hopkins up both times. And I've watched Big Brother because of Michelle Steps Big Brother, and it's interesting that she's still sort of focused on Katie Hopkins. I mean, fair dues, like she's a dick. But I thought it was interesting that she brought it up twice. But she said we can exchange you. She said we'll take Katie Hopkins. Oh no, that's it. She'll come and live in the UK, and in return they can have Katie Hopkins in America. And we're like, yeah, we'll be happy with that trade. There's no issues for us with that. But no, Michelle was super sweet. Like she looked, oh god. So again, I suppose to talk about this now, but she looked gorgeous. She was beautiful. She looks good at anyway, but she was like pretty skinny, not like too skinny, but like thin, and she looked amazing, like beat for the gods, flawless, like beautiful. I think I was surprised out of everyone how beautiful she was, because I suppose like you're expecting beauty from the queens, especially that are on the lineup, and like you expect Michelle to put an effort in or whatever, but she looked amazing, like stunning. Like if you're passed on the street, you'd be like, whoa. So yeah, okay, so that's a preamble. Oh, okay, no, actually one more thing I forgot. So it was held in the Troxy, which is near Limehouse. I'm terrible with places. I live in this country, I've got no idea what anything is. But it was a massive venue, but it was mental. So there were lines. I can't like quantify in words how long these lines were. I can't think of how, because I'd be like, it's like 5 times the length of the building, but you guys don't know how big the building is. But it went on for ages. Okay, it took like 5 minutes, maybe longer, to walk to the end of one of the lines, and there were 2 lines. And we were queuing for about an hour until we got in. But I was just surprised they fit that many people in the venue. It was very crammed though, which is great. It shows how popular it's becoming over here. And also how diverse the crowd was walking down. Sorry, some building work going on. Walking down the queues. Just like the diversity of the people who were going, which is sort of what I expected, but it was cool to see. But yeah, I mean the venue's cool. It's like a nice old building or whatever, but it was just very crammed. It wasn't, maybe they oversold the tickets, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's everything before the first proper act, so let's move on to that now. I'll watch a video and get back to you. Okay, so I didn't actually record a video of the first performance, I guess I was too excited. But they all performed together. I think it's just a standard Christmas song. They all wore red, like Santa style outfits, but obviously like sexy Santas. And yeah, it was cool. Not really much to say about it, to be honest. It was great seeing them all. And afterwards, Michelle came back on stage briefly to announce that there was a special guest, and it was Jinx Monsoon, which is awesome. She sung live her song, I think it's her song, Red and Green, the Christmas song. All the songs, that's something I should have said at the beginning, the whole event was like heavily Christmas themed, obviously, but I sort of thought there'd be like a few non-Christmas numbers there. There wasn't. It was like everything was full on Christmas. It was like Christmas Day, but on the 6th of December, which I wasn't mad at. It was cool. It was good, strong theming. Jinx sung live. It was beautiful. It was really nice. She's got quite like in my opinion, quite like a theatre stagey voice. So it's not necessarily. I'm not a musical fan myself, so it wasn't necessarily for me. But it was great seeing Jinx do what she does best. Very captivating to watch. She looked beautiful. Her signature style, she's wearing like her red hair, and just like, yeah, she looked good. Yep, so that's it for the beginning.
But nothing can make me feel blue like you do when your love is red and green. When your love is red and green.
So yeah, next up was Manila, who I've already said was gorgeous, but I liked Manila a lot on season 3, but I haven't been like following her progression as closely as the other queens. I've seen all her music videos and stuff, but I felt less of a connection personally to Manila than I have some of the other queens I'm into. So I wasn't particularly excited when I heard she's on the bill, if I'm honest with you, brutally honest. But as soon as she came out, even during the first group number, she's exactly who you'd want at this sort of event, this sort of show. I know she's very like banging to like the whole Christmas thing, and very sweet and like theatrical, and it works very well for this medium. So yeah, she came up and sung her song again. So let me just tell you how it's constructed. So there was a screen at the back, and they played the YouTube video version of the songs they were singing, and they all sung their own songs apart from the intro, which was a standard Christmas song, and one other song. They all sung their own numbers. So Manila sung Sleigh Bells, I think it's called. It was cool. It worked well. Like the video suited the performance and stuff, and they sort of lip sank it. I don't know how you'd say it, over the top. But she looked gorgeous. She's wearing this like white like snow. I was like Narnia, that chick from Narnia, Snow Queen, whatever she was called. I don't know. But like the outfit looked like that, and she was just stunning. She looked beautiful. I may include a little clip. I just checked it. It's proper bad quality. But yeah, that was cool. It was a fun performance. The video, I've seen the videos beforehand, but the video was good and the performance was good, and I really enjoyed it. I was really impressed with Manila. Really impressed with Manila, actually, more so than I thought I would be. Okay, next. Okay, so next up we had the complete opposite. We had Alaska doing Christmas Sucks, which is like a bit more of like a punk vibe as opposed to like this sweet vibe of Manila's performance. She performed it really well. Like, it's what you'd hope an Alaska performance to be. It served me everything I was hoping for from it. One thing I was just thinking though is that all the queens looked pretty typical in terms of their go-to looks. They all sort of went for their go-to looks. So in that respect, I say Manila was sort of ahead of the rest of them. I think probably the only queen who was sort of, I don't know, I felt like she took a look to like the next level, especially for her first performance, which was cool. But yeah, Alaska looked great. There's one really funny bit. So there's a fan on one side of the stage, just the one side for some reason. And at the very beginning, when Michelle was talking about the show, she's walking around the stage talking to different parts of the audience, and she's like, "What is this Beyonce fan? Like, I can't stand it." She was over it. She moved to the side. I don't know whether Alaska knew it was there or not, but she stood in front of it at one point. I let her like skirt blow up and stuff, and was like feeling her oats. It's cool. I'll upload the clip of that. I'll put that before or after this because it was proper funny. Yeah, but a great performance from Alaska. And then at the end, this like it was well done. This like puppet of Donald Trump came up, like this weird looking puppet, obviously like proportionally incorrect. And she ripped off the head, which was like a model head, and had all this like glistery blood hanging down. And yeah, so she's like obviously I feel like based on a few of her latest videos, she's getting more political these days. I suppose you have to if you're American, really, in the current climate. Sorry. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Again, it's like a very like rock and roll style performance, quite punk. But yeah, it was really fun to watch. Like, she got the crowd riled up. Yeah, she didn't disappoint. Obviously, you expect a lot from Alaska, and she didn't disappoint.
Don't mess with me, I don't give a damn.
So next up was Katia, which is awesome. The crowd went mental when she came out. And what was cool is like it was super chill. She came out and just like chatted for a bit. She introduced the backup dancers, talked to them a little bit. You know, comedy on point. And yeah, the only thing I'd say, like, the comedy was a little bit standard. Like, it was amazing. Like, anything Katia says, I'd happily listen to, and it was always funny. But you know, about like having sex with the dancers, and like it was pretty standard stuff, you know. And then she performed her song 12 Days of Christmas, her version of 12 Days of Christmas, which I absolutely loved. The video for that on YouTube was amazing. But yeah, that was fun. Like, she was like chatting over top of it. She sung most of it, and like the timings and stuff were impressive. But she just had a laugh with it. It wasn't like a proper serious performance. It was more just like her having a laugh and like chatting to us, and like her running around the stage, and it's quite slapstick, you know. But no, I loved Katia. That's one other thing I should have mentioned, sorry. So in the intro trailers, they separated Katia and Trish, which is a little bit concerning. So yeah, so Trish has a separate performance at some point, so I'll chat about that then. But yeah, Katia again, I expected a lot from Katia, and she didn't excel in any case. Like, Alaska had a couple of small surprises, which, like, you know, took it to another level for me. But Katia's was really really fun to watch, a really fun performance, and I loved that girl. But like, as I said, but it wasn't like mind blowing. It was less. You know what? I think part of it is she didn't really do many acrobatics. You sort of expect the acrobatics and stuff from Katia, and as far as I remember, I don't remember like any, you know, there wasn't a significant emphasis put on like acrobatics or flexibility or anything like that. But that being said, she did do a stretch before one of her performances. Like, she did stretch on stage. I think it was this one. So I don't know. But I wasn't disappointed. I still really enjoyed it. But it's just like nothing overly exciting to report about it, if that makes sense. It's like what you'd hope for from Katia. Yeah. Okay, so next, I thought this was interesting. Detox, I don't know the name of the song actually, I should have looked it up. I don't remember seeing a video for it online, but I don't know if I'm subscribed to Detox. I should be. It was a song, like a Christmas, like cheery, upbeat song. I recognised it, but I think maybe she'd rewritten it. But it was a weird like duet with her and her mum. So it was very well, like, I suppose, I don't know if it's the same editing that's been used for with Katy and Troxy, but the editing for the videos was very good. Like, it felt like, you know, stuff from the show, maybe even better. So yeah, the way they'd done it was, like, her mum was on the phone, like, as if they were video calling each other, and her mum was singing, it's basically about recipes and things. But what I thought was interesting is, I felt like, especially towards the end of All Stars, say, for example, like her last outfit, Detox has gone for like more of a sweet sort of persona, and that was definitely evident in her performance last night. Like, it was almost sickly. It was super sweet. For this performance anyway, she sort of went to more what you'd expect from Detox in the other performance, but it was nice. Like, it was a fun, I guess, sorry, keep using the same adjectives, but it was like a fun, like, cheery, Christmassy sort of like boppy performance, you know, sweet with her and her mum and that, but, you know, like, it didn't like rock my world or anything. But it's fine. She performed it well. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So now for me, it's a bit. This is like the only real like negative part of this video / review. So Fifi was out next, and again, like as I said in previous videos, I was actually really excited to see Fifi. More excited than some of the other queens, if I'm honest, for example, Manila. But I just wasn't that impressed. Her makeup looked pretty good, and her wigs and that. But what really annoyed me, again, I know like this is just personal preference, because, you know, people can express drag differently, interpret drag differently, and express it differently. You know what I'm saying? But she just wasn't padded, and like her body was just very like that, and it just wasn't selling me an illusion. And she was wearing like if I remember correctly, like a leotard sort of thing. It didn't look great to me, if I'm honest. And she sung her, I think it's her Christmas song. I hadn't heard it before. I think it might be from Christmas Queens 1, if I remember correctly. And it was pretty good. I'll come to it later, but her second performance I thought was a lot better. I think in terms of the actual song, it was one of the better songs. No, I don't know about that actually. I don't know, like, it was good. I was happy that the crowd didn't boo. They all cheered. Although that being said, like I said, I only recorded a few seconds of every performance. I don't want to be that dick who's like holding their phone really high the whole way through. Especially when I said other people at the front were doing that. So, but I could have sworn I didn't notice at the time. I thought she said booze, like alcohol, but she says in the clip I've got that I was missing the booze, as in like boo. So I don't know whether people were starting to boo during her performance. I don't know why they would have, but I don't know why she said that. But okay, so as from like negative stuff, so let's stay with Fifi for now. But again, I honestly, I know I had like my issues with Fifi when I was recapping All Stars 2, but I was genuinely excited to see her, and I think because I followed her a lot before All Stars with the 365 Days Drag. I do have a lot of respect for the girl. I think she's made some stupid choices, but I felt like hopefully she'd learn from them, and sort of, you know, I was excited to see where she'd progress to. But again, like, I know, again, I suppose her humour could be for some people, but during the clips, like the video clips in the background, when all the queens, sections where all the queens were interviewed, like asked a question like, what's your favourite Christmas present? What's your most memorable Christmas? What do you think of this queen being that queen, or whatever? I don't know, like, Fifi wasn't like horrible or anything, but she just, I didn't think she was particularly likeable in the clips. Maybe that's me being too harsh. I don't know. Like, it was just, she made a couple of jokes, and I think it's more like a jokes missed. So she was asked like, what queen do you think would make the best Mrs. Claus or something like that. I can't remember what she said, but it was just like, she obviously meant it as a joke, but it was just, I don't know, it was just a bit of a miss for me. But again, maybe this is too harsh, but I can't remember exactly what she said, so I can't be like, this is verbatim what happened. And again, it wasn't bad, it was just my interpretation of it. I felt like, because the clips are very like overly warm and sickly and sweet Christmassy sort of clips, I suppose she sort of just contrasted with that a little bit for me. She felt like, she didn't feel, you know what it was? She didn't feel natural in front of the camera to me. Well, I probably can't talk, but, you know, I'm not doing a big show. Yeah, she just, I don't know, she felt like she wasn't fun to watch. You know, when people are enjoying like what they're doing and enjoying the questions or the situation or whatever, they're fun to watch. I felt like she was maybe a little bit uncomfortable or something. Maybe that was it. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because she doesn't know whether she wants to. What I feel like with Fifi is that she doesn't want to do drag anymore, really. I feel like she wants to like be a dude singer but I feel like she knows that to promote that she has to do a lot of drag stuff still. I don't know, I feel like maybe she's a bit frustrated or a bit uncomfortable with certain things at this point. But again, remember, that's just my interpretation of it. Like I said, it was nothing bad or anything. It was just, I don't know, it's more a comparison because it's the best of the best. And it's Alaska, Katia. Do you know what I mean? It's the best. And Sharon was in the videos, and yeah, so it's the best of the best. But my last negative thing, so I'm on like the negative train, is that Bendela Creme was in the videos as well, and her makeup was not good at all. Like, her face was 10 shades lighter than her body, which is a bit disappointing because Bendela Creme's always been pretty polished from the times I've seen her. So I was surprised by like how bad she looked, if I'm honest with you. And Pandora had a similar sort of issue where her face was a bit lighter, but it wasn't as bad. It was just quite extreme on Bendela Creme. I don't think it was a stylistic choice. It just looked like poor makeup, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel bad for doing this. Okay, so on to other stuff now. Like I said, Fifi's second performance was better, in my opinion. So yeah, you're welcome.
I was missing the
Okay, so next up was Alaska doing, I think it's called Every Day is Christmas, or I don't know. But what was interesting is very different. I respected this. It was a very different outfit style and choice to her first one. So her first one was like, I don't know, like a bit sexier, like didn't fit the theme as closely or whatever. But this one was like very much like a Christmas award gown, like very tightly fitted. She had like an awesome shape. Her padding was great. But because of that, she had to be carried onto stage by dancers, and same after her performance, she was just carried off by the dancers. I guess she couldn't walk very far because it was tight in the leg area as well. She had this massive red thing in her head. It was like a very red, very Christmassy dress. Again, a pretty standard look, but it was cool. I liked that it was very different to her first look. And I feel like Alaska's performances were some of the best because, I don't know, I guess she's recorded her songs in a way that they're like, she knows she can sing them well. So I think for all of the tracks, they had the original vocals playing in the background and the Queens were singing over the top, most of them, or maybe the little ad-libby bits. But I'm not sure if it was with Alaska. It sounds like she sung both her songs live, all her songs live, actually. I think maybe the same with Manila as well. Definitely for the track Alaska and Manila did together, I'm sure they sung the vocals live for that, which again I was really impressed with because again they sounded great. They weren't too different from the original. Yeah, I was impressed with that. But on that note, Fifi definitely sung live as well on her act. Sorry, I should have said this before, on her act. And yeah, again, sorry, I need to get off this like negativity train. But I want to give an honest review, my honest opinions. It wasn't great. It was very similar to how she performed in the Challenge in All Stars 2. In that she can obviously sing, she's got some talent there, but it just wasn't. There were quite a few like missteps, like. Again, not big missteps. It's not like she sung the wrong note completely, but like a bit flat and a bit didn't quite hit. You know, in a few places it didn't quite hit, which I think was similar to the Challenge in All Stars 2. You could tell like she had some talent, but it just wasn't there 100%. But that to me contrasted a lot with Alaska. So although Alaska's style of singing, like the melodies and the vocals, were a lot easier, that was more sensible because she got it all on point every time. Yeah, whereas Fifi obviously strained. Again, the second performance from my memory was less of an issue, but for her first performance, it just wasn't amazing. So yeah, but Alaska was awesome again the second time. Okay, so the next thing was super cool. It's something I didn't know would happen at all. It was a live lip sync battle. It had this thing called the Wheel of Mariah, and basically apparently it would have, there's a chance it could have paired any two of the queens together, and they had to have a lip sync battle against each other. I'm guessing it was all premeditated. Probably talks backstage about who wanted to do it. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'd be interested to know whether that's the case or not. But it turned out to be Manila and Detox, which was cool. I was happy with that. But the strange thing was, they got people from the audience. They'd been chosen already, and they put them in like, they said like Primark style, like Christmas stuff, and they sung with the queens as well, which was sweet. It was nice of them to get a couple of people from the audience. It was funny because when all the queens were brought back out when the wheel was being spun, there's a bit of technical issues as well. The wheel kept like, the video of the wheel spinning kept like stopping, not working. It was quite funny, but Michelle handled it well. So yeah, so Michelle was emceeing this bit, and so I keep coughing or something in my throat. And yeah, she handled technical issues well. But it's funny. When all the queens came out, she's like, "Oh, you all look like your beautiful Christmas visions or whatever," and one slag talking about Detox, who was wearing like a much more what you'd expect Detox to wear, like a very fitted black, I think latex dress or something with her arse like right out, both cheeks fully out. She looked really good, a bit like Cruella de Vil. It looked really good. So yeah, it was Manila and Detox lip syncing against each other. And Detox killed it. She did a lot of her mouth trick, but it's awesome seeing that live. And I think in the show sometimes I've seen it as a bit too much, but I'm surprised I didn't feel that way during her performance. It just worked. I guess maybe seeing her do that live is more effective. I don't know. Manila again was super sweet, really fun to watch, like really nice with her partner. I was gonna say human partner, but like her partner from the audience, like making like sure to dance for the whole time. And there's one bit towards the end, Manila sort of was trying to block off the other girl from the audience, Detox's partner, which is quite funny. Yeah, like Manila was like quite like a campy, like fun performance, really fun to watch. But Detox was like good, like really good. Like she was on like the main stage or something. Like all the mouth stuff, like some good moves. And Detox, I spoke to my mates there and they agreed that Detox should have won. I feel like because at the end the crowd cheered for who they wanted to win. I feel bad because I assume that normally it's whichever queen the audience likes more is going to win, despite how well I did in the performance. But Detox did do better. I think she's the more liked queen out of the two, but also she did just do better in lip sync, I think, objectively. Again, if you guys were there last night and don't agree with me, let me know. I'd be interested to, this could just be my opinion. So yeah, but that was like a really cool interlude, seeing like a live lip sync battle. Although it was like jovial and fun and tongue in cheek, it was still cool seeing the two queens on stage together like that. Oh, and then also at the end, at the very, very end, they started stripping off, which is sort of what you expect from Detox. Oh, there's one bit where they whipped their wig off halfway through during the performance and put it on their human partners. This is what I'm going to call them from now on. That was cool, and they were in like the exact same wig underneath though, so the change wasn't that obvious. I think Detox is, I was too busy focusing on Manila at this point, I think, but I think Detox is both her wigs came off or something, but she recovered from it well. Like again, it was like a very fun performance. It was like a serious main stage lip sync battle with like the like edit or whatever. It was just fun and a laugh, and they both had fun with it. It was really fun to watch. So yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed that. Next up was Trish, which is interesting. I feel like, I don't know if I've made my Trish views public on YouTube. I'm not a massive fan of her character personally. I absolutely love Katya, like Katya and like her other web stuff, like her regrets and Revealed, like from the season 7 was amazing, and also her Total Recall. Like all of that style of comedy, I like, it's bang up my alley. Like I love all that stuff. But Trish isn't necessarily for me. I couldn't sit here and watch an hour of Trish, but it was really fun in like the short burst that she was there. She embodied the character completely. It was exactly what you see on YouTube. She did, I can't remember what the song was. I think it might have been an actual Christmas song, something about Christmas being forever. I don't know, but no, it was good. It's what you'd expect from a Trish performance. Nothing too major to report. But again, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, which I think was interesting. I think this is going to change my views on when I watch the next season of Drag Race, in terms of thinking that I'm probably going to like it more if I saw it in person, because it's very different watching it on the TV and being more analytical, I suppose. I was quite analytical last night though, but I don't know. I maybe connect with things better in person. So yeah, that was again not my favourite performance, but I liked it. It was a healthy dose of Trish.
Merry Christmas, all together.
Okay, so next up was Detox again with This Is How We Do It, which was awesome. The crowd went mental when they knew that was the song she was going to do. I've seen the video a few times on YouTube. I really like it. I think it's a really fun, it's a funny song. And yeah, she was, again, it was a cool look for Detox. She wore like brown wavy hair, like 70s sort of style clothes, like this sparkly blue top and this like tennis skirt looking thing. And yeah, so same as Alaska, you can tell she sung completely live. It's not necessarily with Alaska Discs, it's not necessarily singing, but you know, it was fun seeing them do it live with the intonations and stuff. And yeah, it was a great performance. One of the better, like one of my highlights of the night. And it was, like, all performances were awesome. But yeah, it was really, really good. She had a lot of fun with it, you know, with the dancers as well. So yeah, that was awesome. That was really good. Okay, next up was Alaska and Manila doing Working Holiday. Again, I've seen a video on YouTube, and I was sort of a bit like meh about the video. Again, the production values were really good, but I know you sort of just expect a lot from both Alaska and Manila, actually. Manila's got some really good songs on YouTube, in my opinion. But again, it worked really well in the context of the show. It was just a really fun performance, and again, they both did it completely live, which was cool. I was really impressed with how Alaska can get her voice that like gruff for that period of time. Her voice must be dead after that. But yeah, that was great. Nothing again that over the top to say about it. They didn't wear the prosthetics, but apart from that, they wore the same outfits as in the video. And yeah, Manila again captured the character very well, like very like theatrical with it, which works well in this medium. Yeah, it was a really fun performance. Okay, so next was Fifi's second performance, and I thought this was a lot better. I don't think she sung most of it live. She had like a Britney style mic down to here or whatever, but I try and work out what she was singing. There were a lot of points where she didn't have her mouth open, so I don't know how much of it she actually sung. But I think that worked well because I was really impressed with the choreography. That was the highlight for me. Again, like, I wasn't massively impressed with her look, no padding, and her look generally was like a little bit boring, same with her first look. But the choreography was really cool. Like the song had, I'm not sure what the song was. It was another Christmas song, I think. I think her own one, but I didn't realize she had two. I don't know. I guess the first one was from the first Christmas Queens, and the second one was from the second one. But this one had more of like an R&B, like 90s vibe to it. The song, I really liked the actual song itself. It was really fun to listen to, and the choreography was really great to watch. I was really impressed with that. And I played a video from the track in the background. Had a lot of her as a dude in it, obviously. And yeah, so I think there are a lot of like great elements to the performance, and a few not so good things that I sort of touched on previously. But overall, yeah, Fifi's second performance for me was a lot better than her first. Okay, I almost died. They did. The music started for Read You Wrote You. Oh my god, it was like one of the best moments of my life. I loved that song so much. I don't know why. Like, I know it's like not a great song. I only had like a day to sort it all out, but I just loved that, like the backing track, that style of music, and I think the rap's actually really good, especially for the time they had to write them. I know all the lyrics. I loved that damn song. So when they started playing, I didn't think they'd do it. I was like, that'd be the thing I would have most hoped to have seen, and they ended up doing it. So I was so happy. Oh my god, it's so good. And they all did all their parts live as well, which was cool. Again, there's a lot. You'd hope there'd be some of the choreography from the episode, but there wasn't. But just hearing them do it live and like, I love that song generally. It was so good. The crowd went mental as well. Obviously, everyone was singing it. Oh, it was so good. But what was awesome? So Roxy wasn't there, and I thought they'd cut Roxy's verse the whole way through. I was like loving it, so I wasn't thinking too much about it. But I was thinking they would cut her verse. But they didn't. What they did instead, which I thought was super cool, is they all sung her verse. But Katya and Alaska took the first part, the non-singy bit, if you can call that singing, and they were like quite aggressive with it. Like the way they were singing it, like they were really into it, and it was really good. Like they weren't doing like half-assed. Like it was just really funny. Like they're proper into it. And while it's happening, Ethos went and like climbed on top of the speaker nearest us and sort of laid on it like a stripper sort of pose, and during that, so after they finished the first part of the rap, Katya and Alaska, Detox did like the singing part on the speaker, and again like really into it, and it was really funny. While that was happening, Alaska was sort of dancing like super sensually, like she was like really into it, and Katya was like doing like going crazy sort of dancing. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. By far the massive highlight for me. Loved every millisecond of that. I'm sure there'll be a full performance of it on YouTube. Definitely check it out. It was so good. It was so good. So next was something I was really curious about. Michelle's turn to sing. What song was it? It was like a really nice Christmas song. Not Oh Holy Night, but it's something like that. You'll hear us. I'm going to put a tiny clip of it in a bit. But I was blown away by her voice. She said in the first part that she was ill, and she did sound a bit ill previously, and she's a bit nervous about the song. But she, oh my god, she was so good. Like her tone of her voice at the beginning, I was a little bit unsure on. Again, like just in terms of personal preference, but as the song built up, she was amazing. Like chills at points, you know, like really great to listen to live. I thought she'd be very like, cause she's a big musical queen, isn't she? I thought she'd be like pure theatre and it wouldn't be for me, but no, it was amazing, like beautiful. Like I was actually touched by the song in between me down there, and I was into every second of it. And what was really cool as well is as like the song was progressing, the support for Michelle was obvious. Like everyone was like supporting her more than the other queens, I think, which was really sweet. And people getting their phones out, I did the same, but I stopped it for a minute to record it, but with the put their flash on and waving like candles. But loads of people did it, and it was beautiful. And Michelle, I think, was touched by it. She didn't really say anything because she was singing, but I don't know, it's just a very emotional performance. I think the audience felt that as well, and it's awesome. I think Michelle would be very happy to know that she portrayed that emotion effectively in her performance, and it was great. It was really great. I'm like another highlight for me. Right, so we've come to the end. So there was like a brief Christmas number where they all sung it together again, similar to the intro number. They all, like, it was more of a chance to like introduce and thank the dancers and the queens and Michelle. It's more of like an outro-y sort of thing. It wasn't like a proper number. It was just like a fun, sweet thing. And but what I preferred though is at the end, after that song finished, they played Champion in the background as if it was like at the end of an episode of a RuPaul of a Drag Race episode. And all this like confetti came down from the ceiling, and it was fun. It was a really cool little atmosphere. I loved that. It was like, yeah, like seeing like a live version of it. They're just all having fun. There's no expectations. It was a really good way to end. Really good way to end. I was impressed with that. And yeah, that's it really. I think this video's been longer than I expected it, but also the show was longer than I expected, because I thought they'd all do one number each maybe. I thought the show would be like an hour max, but it was a long show actually. I think it started at 9 and finished roughly 10:30, closer to 11. So it's the same sort of length as like a proper concert. So yeah, I mean, okay, so if this is a review, I don't know what I'm going to call this video, but if it's a review, then loved it. Like, I'm going to make sure I get a ticket for next year. I wish I got a ticket for this year. I was really disappointed I didn't get to go, but I sort of also didn't really know what I'd be missing. But now that I know what I'd be missing next year, I definitely want to go. I think we're really lucky with the lineup as well though. The queens that were in the London venue, all amazing queens. Yeah, so there are other queens featured in like the VTs, like Jiggly Caliente, Sharon Needles and Ben de la Creme, etc. So I'm assuming other queens were on other legs of the tour. But yeah, so I mean that was a big part of it, the queens. But it was the production itself was very well done. Like it was very high quality, like the VTs in the background, but also like fun and chill, and like it's good because it's like, especially in the podcast, I always talk about how we're like a family because we have this like connection to each other through our love of the show and the art form. It did feel like that in the venue. Like I said, it's very diverse, but it felt like we all had like a common interest in that, and I feel like there's the very positive values of the show, and that was all sort of shared in the room. It's a very supportive atmosphere, apart from the boo at the beginning for Fifi, but that was shut down straight away. And as like I said, I didn't really see anyone around me booing, but obviously I heard boos. So yeah, it was great. It was a really, really awesome evening. My first, like, I've seen bits of drag here and there, but it's my first proper drag queen from Drag Race show, and yeah, it was amazing. I highly recommend you see it if you can, or if not, go next year, you know. So yeah, hopefully this video was alright. If you guys managed to see it, let me know. Point to me and point down. Let me know in the comments down below. Yeah, check out clips from it if not, and let me know what you think of the performances. But again, like I said, it's very different seeing the performances on YouTube than it is being there in the crowd and like hanging out with the queens, it felt like. Yeah, so sorry, I mean that in terms of like some of them may look less impressive in like a YouTube video, like poorly recorded YouTube video. That's what I mean. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, and yeah, hopefully there'll be like a Meet the Queen soon. But if not, I'll do some other drag video in between then and now. But in the meantime, yeah, check out my other videos. I'm starting off the whole Twitch thing, trying to get that going. Streaming Pokemon at the moment. Watch that if you can. This is the plug section. Yeah, but that's it really. I need to go. I've got work still. I need to leave. So yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, and I'll see you all soon. Take care. Peace out. Focus. There you go. That's the beauty we've all been looking for. Yep. What an intro.